Hello, readers of Every Word. Welcome to EveryWord365. I'm your host, Christina Munoz-Madsen. Today's reading is Matthew 16 through 19. In Matthew 16, we see the leaders, the Sadducees and Pharisees, challenge Jesus and demand miracles. And in case you need a clarification on those two groups, I'm including a link to a great write-up by Got Questions. Jesus also lets them know what will happen to him, although they don't really get it. Matthew 16, 23 through 28. You are seeing things merely from a human point of view, not from God's. Then Jesus said to his disciples, if any of you wants to be my follower, you must turn from your selfish ways, take up your cross, and follow me. If you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul? Is anything worth more than your soul? For the Son of Man will come with his angels in the glory of his Father and will judge all people according to their deeds. And I tell you the truth, some standing here right now will not die before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Denying oneself is completely getting rid of one's own ambitions and desires. It's an impassioned plea and reminder that we must constantly and consistently put aside what we want if we are to be like Jesus. I know. Easier said than done, right? And then there's the Transfiguration. Throw that word out in Sunday school if you want to sound impressive. Read through Matthew 17, 1 through 13 if you haven't already, and I'll be curious to know what you think all about it. And I'll be including a link from Got Questions. Then there are more miracles and parables, and then as a mom, I love this part, Matthew 18, 3 through 4. Then he said, I tell you the truth, unless you turn from your sins and become like little children, you will never get into the kingdom of heaven. So anyone who becomes as humble as this little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Then is the well-known part about cutting off your hand if it causes you to sin. Do you think he literally means to cut off your hand? Well, I've included two links on this one, some great write-ups about what that part of the Bible means. Then Matthew 19, 15 through 17 tells us how to handle disputes among believers. Some very good advice, and I recommend you read through that part very closely. Then they cover divorce and marriage. Yikes, some very tough topics, but again, some great info in there. Then we have the story of the rich man, where Jesus confirms that we must still obey at least 6 of the 10 commandments. So are we all supposed to go sell all of our possessions? Maybe. But not necessarily. Jesus knew this man's heart and knew that he would not be able to part with his stuff/wealth. So the lesson is to be sure that our stuff doesn't rule us. Goes back to the old saying about money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is. And I'm including a couple of more links from Got Questions on this part of the Bible. Then in Matthew 19:26, it says, Jesus looked at them intently and said, humanly speaking, it is impossible, but with God, everything is possible. In closing, a question for each of us from today's daily walk. On the basis of what you have read in the first half of Matthew's gospel, what would your response be to Jesus's penetrating question, who do you say I am? Now read 16:16 to find the correct answer. Take a few moments to consider whether it's your own. Tomorrow is Matthew 20 through 23. Happy reading!